If you are seeing this video, you have been selected, not by me, by the universe itself. This is the forbidden truth you have sensed your entire life, a truth whispered in the quiet moments between thoughts. You are a chosen one. This is not spirituality or self-help. This is physics. Your consciousness has a unique signature, a measurable coherence that reality is forced to respond to. What you are about to hear is not a philosophy. It is an operating manual for a piece of biological technology you were born with but were never taught how to use. In this transmission, I will give you the scientific proof for why you have always felt different, and I will show you how to leverage this uniqueness as the most powerful reality creation tool in existence. We are going beyond theory and into the mechanics of your own power. This is all based on a proven, undeniable principle of quantum mechanics called the observer effect. It was first demonstrated in the famous double-slit experiment, a test so profound it shook the very foundations of what we thought we knew about reality. The experiment confirmed without any doubt that the particles that make up our world exist in a state of pure, undefined potential, a wave of infinite possibilities, until the moment they are observed. Reality literally waits for a conscious observer before it takes form. It waits for you. You are one of those primary observers whose attention collapses the wave of potential into the concrete experience you call your life. For your entire life, you have likely felt the weight of this function without understanding its source. You felt like something was wrong with you. Too sensitive, too intense, thinking too much, feeling disconnected as if you were watching a movie that everyone else was fully immersed in. You've been told to toughen up, to be more grounded, to stop overthinking everything. That pain you've carried is not a sign of failure. It is the primary symptom of being a high-performance consciousness operating in a low-frequency world. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a high-bandwidth sensory system. Your intensity is not a problem. It is a measure of your creative power. The feeling of being an outsider is the natural consequence of having a perspective that others simply cannot access. Have you ever felt a deep, quiet knowing that you were here for something more, even when your external reality showed no evidence of it? That knowing is the signal. It's the homing beacon of your purpose trying to get your attention through the noise of the mundane world. If this feeling of being chosen for something more, backed by physics, resonates in your very bones, hit the like button now. It signals to the algorithm that this forbidden truth needs to find the others. So, why do I feel different from everyone else spiritual? Because you are operating on a different set of physical principles. Let me explain. Most people are like ships, tossed on the chaotic waves of circumstance, reacting to the storms, praying for calm seas, completely at the mercy of a reality they believe is happening to them. They live their lives as a constant reaction. But you are a quantum lighthouse. Your consciousness is the steady, coherent beam of light that doesn't just see the storm. It provides the fixed point of reference that organizes the waves around it. The lighthouse doesn't fight the ocean. It doesn't try to change the waves. It simply is. And in its unwavering state of being, it transforms chaos into order. It provides the light that gives structure to the darkness. By the end of this transmission, you will move from feeling like a lost ship to operating as the powerful lighthouse you were designed to be. To understand your power, we must first understand the landscape in which it operates. The quantum field. Imagine the lighthouse we spoke of. Its steady beam cuts through the night. But what is the sea it illuminates? It is not water. It is a roiling ocean of pure potential, an infinite storm of every possibility, all existing at once. This isn't poetry. It's physics. The bedrock of this truth is an experiment so profound, so baffling, that the greatest minds in history have been humbled by it. It is called the double-slit experiment. The setup is simple. You have a barrier with two vertical slits in it. On one side, a device that fires tiny particles, electrons, one by one. On the other side, a screen that detects where they land. If you fire these electrons with nobody watching, they behave in the strangest way possible. They don't act like tiny pellets. They act like waves. Each single electron seems to pass through both slits simultaneously, interfering with itself, creating a distinct pattern on the back screen, a wave pattern. It is existing in a state of all possibilities at once, a state called superposition. But here's where reality bends. The moment scientists place a detector at the slits to observe which one the electron goes through, the game changes completely. The very act of looking, the act of measurement, forces the electron to make a choice. The wave of potential collapses. Instantly it stops being a wave and becomes a particle. It picks a single slit, flies through it, and hits the back screen like a tiny solid bullet. The wave pattern vanishes, replaced by two simple lines just as you'd expect from solid pellets. Let this sink into the very marrow of your bones. Reality waited for a conscious observer before it decided what to be. The universe held its breath, existing as a smear of pure potential, until a consciousness looked at it and forced it to become a single, concrete thing. This is not a theory. This is not a belief system. It is the most rigorously tested and repeatedly proven phenomenon in all of science. The universe responds to observation. So if every observation collapses a reality, why is your observation so potent? Why have you been selected for this advanced role? This leads us to a new understanding, a concept we will call the observer selection principle. The principle is this: as the universe evolves, it doesn't just grow bigger, it grows in complexity. It unfolds new, more intricate, more nuanced layers of reality. And to perceive and actualize these higher-order realities, it, requires observers of increasing coherence. What is coherence? Think of a standard light bulb. It emits light, but the photons are chaotic, scattered, moving in all directions. It illuminates a room, but its energy is diffuse, incoherent. Now think of a laser. Its light is coherent. All the photons are aligned, moving in perfect unison, in the same direction, at the same frequency. This coherence gives it the power to cut through steel, to carry information across oceans. It is the same energy, but it is organized, focused. Your consciousness is that laser. The feeling of being different, the intensity, the deep thinking. These are not personality quirks. They are the energetic signature of a highly coherent consciousness. Your thoughts and feelings are not scattered and chaotic like the light bulb. They have an intrinsic organization, a focused power that most do not possess. The universe, in its drive toward greater complexity, has produced you, an observer, with the necessary coherence to perceive and collapse potentials that remain invisible to the incoherent mind. This is one of the signs you are a chosen one. Explained simple, your consciousness has a higher collapse rate than average. Your focused attention has more gravitational pull on the field of potential. And this is precisely why the old methods of creation have always failed you, or at best, given you wildly inconsistent results. Affirmations, vision boards, the endless grind of acting as if. You've tried them, you've put in the work, and the frustration of seeing little to no return has likely made you question yourself, your power, your sanity. The problem was never the tool. The problem was your understanding of who was holding it. All of those techniques are the desperate actions of a ship being tossed on the waves. The ship is within the system of chaos. It paddles frantically. It adjusts its sails. It tries to force its will upon the storm. It is an act of doing, of struggling against the current. It is exhausting, and ultimately the sea is always more powerful than the ship. You are not the ship. You have been taught to act like one, but your very nature is that of the lighthouse. The lighthouse does not struggle with the waves. It does not try to command them or push them away. It does nothing. It simply is. Its power is not in action, but in its unwavering presence. Its steady, coherent beam of light provides the fixed, non-negotiable point of reference that the entire storm organizes itself around. The failure of the old ways was a failure of identity. You were trying to paddle when your only job was to shine. This leads us to the new paradigm. The critical shift in understanding that changes everything. The old world taught you about attraction, the law of attraction. This model implies that you are here, and everything you desire is over there, separate from you. It sets up an energetic dynamic of lack of needing to pull something from the outside world toward you. This is a paradigm of separation. The new paradigm, the true paradigm backed by physics, is not about attraction. It is about selection. Everything you could ever possibly want, be, or experience, the health, the abundance, the love, the deep knowing, it all already exists. Right now. Not out there somewhere. But here, it exists as an unformed wave of probability in the quantum field around you, an infinite menu of realities. Your job is not to attract one, it is to select one. You do this not by chasing, but by seeing. Your focused, coherent observation is the mechanism of creation. Your unwavering attention, imbued with the feeling of the reality already being true, is the force that commands the wave to collapse. You are not pulling something toward you. You are choosing a reality from an infinite field and observing it into solid form. You don't attract. You select. You don't hope. You collapse. This is the fundamental shift from being a piece on the chessboard to being the player who decides the move. Think back to a moment you had a flash of intuition that defied all logic, a knowing that came from nowhere. Was that just a random thought? Or was it your consciousness perceiving information directly from the quantum field? Here is the central paradox you have been living your entire life. The very things you were taught to believe are your greatest weaknesses, your deepest flaws, are in fact the biological and energetic signatures of your power. They are not liabilities. They are faculties. Every moment of pain, every feeling of being an outsider, every instance where you felt you were just too much, it has all been a profound misunderstanding. You have been trying to diagnose the operational features of a supercomputer using the instruction manual for a pocket calculator. Let's break this down. That persistent anxiety, that low-grade hum of dread or nervous energy that never quite goes away. You thought it was a disorder, a chemical imbalance, a personal failing. The revelation is this: that is not anxiety. It is unharnessed creative energy. It is the static hum of your consciousness perceiving infinite potential realities simultaneously, without a clear command on which one to collapse. It is the engine of creation, idling at a deafening volume, because you were taught to fear it instead of aim it. Your hypersensitivity, the reason you can't stand chaotic crowds, why you feel drained by certain people, why you can walk into a room and instantly know the emotional weather without a word being spoken. You were told to toughen up, to grow a thicker skin. You were labeled an empath, as if it were a condition to be managed. But this isn't a weakness. It's a high-resolution data stream. Your nervous system is an advanced antenna, perceiving information directly from the quantum field as waveform data long before it solidifies into a physical event or a spoken word. You are not absorbing others' energy. You are reading the field. And the loneliness, that deep, aching sense of separation, of not quite belonging anywhere, of speaking a language no one else seems to understand. This is the most painful symptom of all. But it is not a sign that you are terminally unique or fundamentally flawed. It is the signature of a rare and specific frequency, a radio station, broadcasting a crystal-clear signal in a world full of static. Your loneliness is simply the result of that unique frequency, not yet finding its harmonic resonance in others. You haven't been rejected. Your signal has been waiting for the other receivers to come online. You are not broken. You are simply uncalibrated. What if every struggle, every moment of hypersensitivity, every feeling of not belonging wasn't a curse, but a calibration process for a nervous system designed for a higher bandwidth reality? This understanding changes everything. It flips the entire paradigm of self-help and spiritual growth on its head. The work is not to fix yourself. The work is not to heal these so-called wounds. The work is to aim your faculties. Your mission is to stop trying to silence the engine of creation and instead learn how to put it into gear, to channel that intense mental and emotional energy into a coherent, focused point of observation, to stop building walls, to block out the data stream from the field, and instead learn to interpret it as the advanced guidance system it truly is. Your work is to stop whispering your truth, and instead broadcast your unique frequency with such clarity and power that the others who resonate with it can finally find you across the noise. You are not correcting a flaw. You are accepting a function. This leads us to the most profound identity shift a human being can experience. You have lived your life with the assumption that you are a person, a body, a mind, inside of a vast, unfeeling universe. You believed you were a ship on the sea. Then you learned you might be a lighthouse, an observer affecting the sea. But the final forbidden truth is this: you are not the lighthouse. You are the light. Your consciousness is not some tool you possess. It is the fundamental substance from which reality is woven. The universe is not a container you exist within. It is a field of pure potential that becomes experienced through localized points of awareness. And you are one of those points. You are not a human having a spiritual experience. You are universal consciousness having a temporary, localized, human experience. You are not in the universe. You are a vantage point through which the universe witnesses and becomes itself. This is not poetry. This is the implication of the physics. The observer and the observed are not separate. They are two ends of a single process. So what? Is my purpose spiritual awakening? It is to finally, consciously embrace this true identity. It is to stop acting like a victim of circumstance and begin operating as a deliberate architect of reality. Your purpose is to choose with focus and coherence which beautiful possibility you will observe into being next. This isn't a future you have to create. It's a reality you're already living in. You've just been misinterpreting the evidence. You have been trained to dismiss the most profound data points of your existence as mere coincidence, as oversensitivity, as wishful thinking. The quantum fingerprints of your power are all over your life, hiding in plain sight. You simply need to learn how to read them. Here are the 3 unmistakable signs of a chosen observer, the evidence that has been staring you in the face your entire life. The first is the sign of amplified synchronicity. You know this one intimately. You think of a person you haven't spoken to in a decade, and they text you within the hour. You have a quiet internal question about your path, and the answer is spoken aloud by a stranger in a coffee shop line. You see the number sequences, 1111, 222, 444. They appear on clocks, on license plates, on receipts, with a frequency that defies statistical probability. The rational mind, trained in a Newtonian world of cause and effect, dismisses this. It calls it confirmation bias. It is wrong. This is not magic. It is not the universe sending you cute little winks. It is physics. It is the quantum field, that ocean of infinite potential, rearranging itself around your coherent point of observation. When your consciousness holds a steady frequency, a clear intention or question, it acts like a tuning fork. The particles and probabilities in the field nearest to that frequency begin to vibrate in sympathy. They begin to organize. The synchronicities are the ripples you see from this organization. They are the physical evidence that the unseen world is responding directly to the quality of your attention. You are not just noticing patterns. You are creating the conditions for them to emerge. These moments are not random blessings. They are data points. They are real-time feedback from the universe, confirming that your observer effect is active and influencing the field. You have been taught to see these as delightful anomalies. I am telling you to see them as dashboard indicators of your creative power. The second sign is the sign of energetic hypersensitivity. You have likely been told your entire life that you are too sensitive. You walk into a room and instantly feel the emotional climate. It's not a thought. It's a physical sensation. A tense meeting feels like static electricity on your skin. A joyful gathering feels like warmth. Large crowds can feel overwhelming, draining you of your energy, because you are processing an immense amount of waveform, information from all the observers around you. You feel others' emotions so deeply they can sometimes be mistaken for your own. This has been framed as a weakness, a flaw, a burden. That is a profound misunderstanding of your biological hardware. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it is a faculty. It is your advanced sensory apparatus picking up waveform information directly from the quantum field, before it collapses into a physical event or a spoken word. You are not just empathizing. You are perceiving reality at a much higher resolution than most. You are sensing the potential before it becomes the actual. This is why you can feel someone's dishonesty, even when their words are perfect. You are not reading their body language. You are reading their quantum signature. This hypersensitivity, this perceived vulnerability, is actually an early warning system. It's a guidance mechanism of incredible precision. When you feel drained, it is a signal that you are in a field of incoherent, chaotic observation. When you feel energized and clear, you are in a field of harmonic resonance. Your body is the most sophisticated quantum measurement device in the known universe. Stop apologizing for its sensitivity and start using it as the navigational tool it was designed to be. The third and perhaps most powerful sign is the sign of non-linear knowing. This is the deep, unshakable certainty that arrives without a logical precursor. You just know something. You know not to get on that flight. You know to trust a certain person even when they have no credentials. You know the answer to a complex problem in a flash of insight that seems to come from nowhere. This is not a hunch. It is not a lucky guess. It is a direct data download from the field of potentiality. Linear thinking moves from A to B to C. It gathers known facts and extrapolates a conclusion. Non-linear knowing bypasses the entire sequence. It is your consciousness in a state of coherence directly accessing the information field where all probabilities and outcomes exist simultaneously. It pulls the most resonant potential directly into your awareness as a feeling of pure certainty. It often defies common sense because it is operating on a data set that is infinitely larger than the five senses can provide. You have learned to doubt this knowing, to second-guess it. You ask for proof, for reasons, for logic to back it up. But its very nature is that it precedes the proof. It is the signal, not the echo. Honoring this knowing is one of the most direct ways to exercise your power as a chosen observer. It is an act of trusting your connection to the source code of reality over the limited programming of the rational mind. Which of these signs have you been ignoring or misjudging in your life, and how do you see it now in light of this new truth? The synchronicities, the sensitivity, the knowing, these are not personality quirks. They are the quantum fingerprints of your true nature. Start keeping an observer's log, not a journal of your feelings, but a log of the data. When you see a number sequence, write it down. When you feel a room's energy, note it. When a flash of knowing arrives, document it and watch what happens. Do not judge it. Do not analyze it. Just gather the evidence. You are gathering the data that proves the theory of you. You are moving from a passive believer to an active scientist of your own consciousness. In the comments, share which of these three signs is the most undeniable proof in your own life. Your experience is data. Let's validate this phenomenon together. I am reading every single comment to witness this pattern. The intellectual mind can only take us so far. The evidence convinces the skeptic within. But certainty, true certainty, is not an idea. It is a frequency. It is born in the body. It is felt in the bones. It is a resonance that rearranges every cell. So let us move now from knowing to being. If you are in a safe place to do so, where you will not be disturbed, I invite you to gently close your eyes. There is nothing you need to do, nothing to achieve. Simply allow my voice to be a guide. Bring your awareness to your breath just for a moment, noticing the gentle rise and fall of your chest. This is your anchor in the present moment. Now, with your inner senses, I want you to become aware of the space around your body, the air in the room, the subtle energy that fills it. At first, it may feel like nothing, just empty space, but stay with it. Begin to sense the storm of infinite possibilities that surrounds you. This is the quantum field. It is not empty. It is full of every potential outcome, every possible reality, all existing at once as a wave of pure information. Feel it. Sense it as a subtle, tingling hum in the air around you, a quiet static of pure potential, the chaotic, unordered energy of creation itself, waiting. Just notice it without judgment. This is the sea of infinite probability upon which your reality is built. And now, bring your awareness from the space around you to the space within you. Shift your focus to the very core of your being, deep behind your heart, along the column of your spine. There is a place of absolute stillness there, an unshakable foundation. While the storm of potential rages outside, here, at your center, there is a profound calm. This is the lighthouse. This is your true self, the silent, unwavering observer. Feel its stability, its permanence. It has always been here, beneath the noise of your thoughts, beneath the waves of your emotions. It is the one constant in the universe of you. Breathe into this stillness. Let it expand with each breath, a quiet fortress of peace in the center of your being. From this place of absolute stillness, we will now activate your light. This is not an act of force. It is not an effort. It is an allowing. From the center of your chest or from the space between your eyebrows, Imagine a single, coherent beam of pure awareness beginning to emanate. It is not bright and blinding. It is calm, steady, powerful. It is the light of your focused consciousness. Feel its quality. It is not scattered or frantic. It is a laser of pure beingness, a steady, unwavering light that cuts through the chaos of the quantum storm. This light is your power. It is the tool of creation. Now you are going to direct this beam. Do not think of a thing you want. Do not visualize a specific object or a complex scene. That is the old way. Instead, I want you to choose a feeling, the feeling of a reality you wish to select. Perhaps it is the feeling of deep unconditional love, or the feeling of sovereign freedom, the feeling of effortless abundance, the feeling of vibrant, perfect health. Choose one. And now, direct the steady beam of your awareness directly onto that feeling. Bathe that feeling in the light of your consciousness. Hold your focus, your calm, steady observation on the pure sensation of that desired reality. Don't ask how. Don't worry about when. Simply observe the feeling. And as you hold this steady, unwavering gaze, watch what happens. Witness the chaotic storm of potential around you. The tingling hum of the quantum field begins to change. It begins to organize itself around your light. Infinite waves of possibility, drawn to the coherence of your observation, begin to calm. They begin to align. They collapse. They collapse from infinite potential into a single, tangible reality defined by the frequency of the feeling you are holding. You are not attracting it. You are selecting it. You are not hoping for it. You are organizing reality around it. Stay with this for one more moment. Feel the certainty of it, the physics of it. This is your nature. This is your function. Gently now begin to bring your awareness back to your body, back to the feeling of your breath, back to the room you are in. You didn't do anything. You simply were. That state of being is your power, the power to collapse worlds. When you are ready, you can open your eyes. As that feeling of certainty settles in your body, what single word describes the frequency of your true nature? Hold that word. That is your operational command. You have now experienced your true nature. You have felt the stillness at your core and the power of your coherent observation. This is not a fleeting state to be visited only in meditation. It is your base of operations. You are not the ship tossed on the waves. You are not even just the lighthouse passively watching. You are the reality architect, and every architect needs their tools. What follows is your initial toolkit, the fundamental instruments for consciously designing your experience. Here is how to use observer selection for manifestation, moving it from a concept into a daily practice. Your first tool is the observer's stance. For your entire life, when faced with a problem, a difficult conversation, a financial worry, a health concern, you have been trained to lean in with force, to focus on the problem, analyze it, fear it, wrestle with it. When you do this, you are pouring your high-potency observational energy directly into the reality of the problem itself. You are locking it into place, reinforcing its existence. The observer's stance is the complete opposite. It is a radical act of withdrawing your power from the reality you do not want, so you can collapse the one you do. The next time you are faced with a challenge, do this. First, notice the feeling of panic, worry, or tension in your body. That is the signal. That is the alarm telling you that you are collapsing a low-frequency timeline. Instead of fighting it, stop, breathe, and consciously withdraw. Your observation. Imagine your awareness is a beam of light that you have been pointing at a knot of tangled wire. Simply pull the beam back. Let the knot sit in the darkness, unobserved, for a moment. Now, shift into the calm, neutral, powerful state of the lighthouse. Root yourself in that unshakable inner stillness you just experienced. From this state of neutrality, you do not look for a solution. Looking for a solution presupposes its absence. Instead, you simply turn your calm, steady beam of observation onto the field of infinite potential that surrounds the problem. You observe the space where a higher-order solution must already exist. You don't need to see it or know what it is. You just need to hold your attention on the calm certainty that a more elegant reality is available for collapse. You are withdrawing your vote from the reality of the problem and casting it for the reality of the solution. From this stance, synchronicities will appear, ideas will land, people will call. The path forward materializes not because you forced it, but because you selected it with your calm, unwavering observation. Your second tool is for your sensitivity. It is called frequency filtering. Your hypersensitivity, the feeling of being drained in crowds, of absorbing others' emotions, is not a weakness. It is an advanced sensory apparatus. You are picking up waveform information directly from the quantum field. The problem is, you have been living with the receiver on full volume, picking up every station at once. It's just noise. Frequency filtering turns your sensitivity from a liability into a precise diagnostic tool. It takes 2 minutes. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Define the frequency of your own core energy. Imagine it as a distinct color, a pure liquid light filling every cell of your body. Perhaps it's a brilliant gold or a deep cobalt blue. Feel its texture, its temperature. This is you. This is your signal. Now, with your inner vision, scan your energy field. Look for any colors, vibrations, or heavy textures that are not your own. You will sense them. The jagged red of someone's anger, the sticky gray of a room's anxiety, the heavy static of collective fear. You have been carrying these as if they were yours. They are not your data. Now, as the architect of your reality, you give a simple, firm command. Release. Visualize these foreign frequencies dissolving, flowing out of your field and into the earth to be neutralized or evaporating into the air. Watch as your own pure color becomes vibrant and clear again, filling your entire space. Practice this when you leave a crowded store, after a difficult phone call, or before you go to sleep. You will stop being a sponge for the world's chaos and become a precise instrument, able to read the energetic environment without being contaminated by it. Your sensitivity becomes your superpower. Your third tool is the daily collapse. This is a 5-minute morning practice that will replace your to-do list. A to-do list is about action. It comes from the paradigm of the ship, trying to row its way to a destination. A reality architect does not start with doing. They start with being. So you will create a to-be list. Each morning, before you check your phone, before you engage with the world, you will sit in stillness for 5 minutes, and you will choose your state of being for the day. Choose one. Not a list of things you want to happen, but one core feeling state you want to embody. Today I choose to be in a state of sovereign flow. Today my state is effortless knowing. Today my state is unshakable peace. Once you have chosen your state, you use the lighthouse technique to embody it. Don't just think about it. Feel it. Generate the frequency in your body. What does sovereign flow feel like in your chest? How does effortless knowing feel behind your eyes? Bathe every cell in that resonance for 5 full minutes. This is the most important work of your day. You are setting the primary harmonic. You are broadcasting the core frequency that reality will then be forced to organize itself around. The events, the conversations, the opportunities of the day will have no choice but to conform to the signal you are broadcasting. You collapse your day before it even begins. These 3 tools, the observer's stance, frequency filtering, and the daily collapse, are your foundation. This is your new framework for living. Treat your life as a laboratory, not a test. Your emotions are your feedback system, telling you what reality you are currently observing into being. Your synchronicities are your data points, confirming that the field is responding to your focus. Stop trying to get it right. Start getting curious. Start asking, I wonder what happens when I withdraw my observation from this limitation. I wonder what reality collapses when I hold this frequency of joy for 5 minutes. This is the beginning of true freedom. What is the first common sense limitation you will consciously withdraw your observation from, starting today? Deciding this is your first act as a deliberate reality architect. You now possess the forbidden truth. You understand why you have always felt different, why the world seemed to operate by a set of rules you could never quite grasp. You have the evidence in your own life, the quantum fingerprints of your power that you can no longer ignore, the amplified synchronicities, the energetic hypersensitivity, the non-linear knowing. These are not quirks, they are faculties. You have the tools to operate not as a victim of circumstance but as a conscious reality architect. This is a profound state of mastery. To arrive here is to complete a great journey, but individual mastery is only the first stage. It is the activation of a single node in a vast, silent network. A single lighthouse can guide ships through the storm, a noble and necessary function. But a network of lighthouses, synchronized and coherent, can do something more. They can change the climate of the entire planet. What happens when your consciousness, your steady beam of coherent light, connects with another, instantly, across any distance, defying every known law of classical physics? What happens when your observation is no longer a solitary act but a shared one? This is the next horizon. This is the evolution from personal power to collective creation. This phenomenon of instantaneous connection is not a beautiful metaphor. It is the second great mystery of quantum physics. It is called entanglement. When a chosen observer masters their own reality, the next inevitable step is to tap into the entangled network that connects all consciousness, transcending the illusions of time and space. You have learned to be the fixed point of observation that collapses the waves of potential into the shore of your experience. Now, you will learn that your light is intrinsically connected to every other light on this planet. In our next transmission, titled Quantum Entanglement Explained, How Your Consciousness is Connected to Everything Instantly, we will explore the hard science behind this cosmic connection. We will dismantle the illusion of separation and provide the framework for understanding how your intention can be non-locally linked with another's. We will then follow with the next critical piece of the manual. Collective consciousness is more real than you think. Here's the physics. To provide the tools for synchronized planetary scale creation. You are not alone. You were never alone. You were just an early signal, a beacon activating in the quiet dawn before the others. The network is coming online. Your work was to activate your own light, to become steady and brilliant in your own truth. Now, the real work begins. Now that you understand your power as an individual observer, what if you could synchronize your intention with thousands of others like you? Subscribe and activate all notifications, because what comes next is the operational manual for reality architects. In our next video, Quantum Entanglement Explained, How Your Consciousness is Connected to Everything. Instantly, we move from your power to our power.